The Wedding is the finale of the 5th season of the American sitcom Modern Family. It aired in 2 parts, on May 14, 2014 and May 21, 2014. The first part was written by Abraham Higginbotham, Karlin and Jeffrey Richman, and directed by Steven Levitan. The second part was written by Megan Ganz, Christopher Lloyd, and Dan Oceanen and directed by Alisa Statman. Plot. Part 1 Mitch and Cam wake up on their wedding day only to find their wedding organizers, Pepper and Ronaldo, giving them their full packages by bringing them breakfast in bed. Mitch talks to Claire, who informs him that their mother will not be attending the wedding because of a hip injury she sustained during a yoga retreat. Later on, while getting ready, Cam finds out that the dry cleaners gave him the wrong tuxedo and tells Mitch that they need to go to the dry cleaners to pick up a new one. When they get there, the dry cleaners is closed and Cameron starts panicking, especially after Pepper calls to say that there is a wildfire near the wedding's venue and the wedding will be moved 4 hours earlier. Mitchell quickly finds a solution that includes Lily going into the dry cleaners through an express box. Lily soon gets in trouble and the owner of the dry cleaners, Jerry, arrives because the shop's alarm was triggered. Jerry opens the store and hands Cameron the appropriate tuxedo while Mitchell manages to rescue Lily. Mitch and Cam arrive at the wedding on time, but the wedding is stopped by firefighters who inform everyone that they have to evacuate the venue immediately. Meanwhile, Claire and Phil decide to get to know the kids better by having Claire picking up Luke and having Alex drive her dad to the eye doctor and then to the mall to get the wedding present. Claire discovers that she has been distant with Luke and does not know what is going on with him, so she decides to take him boating, but they soon get stuck in the middle of the lake. Alex and Phil arrive at the mall after Phil's appointment with the eye doctor, which temporarily reduces his sight, leaving him barely able to see. Despite needing to get the wedding present, Phil is constantly distracted by items in other shops and wants to have fun. When they finally get to the shop that sells the wedding present, the line is already too long and Phil decides to pretend to be blind so he can get the present faster. When he gets to the front of the line, the salesman confronts Phil, accuses him of faking being blind, and pretends to give Phil the present Claire had ordered, instead giving him the same item in the wrong color. Alex gets in the way, telling the salesman her father lost his sight defending America and suffers from a rare condition that affects his sight. The salesman apologizes and hands Phil the right present. Cameron's parents, Mel and Bob, stay at Jay's house for the wedding and have really quiet arguments from time to time. Bob soon starts to talk to Gloria about it and Gloria encourages her to take action to fix their relationship by telling Merle what bothers her. At the same time, Merle and Jay go for a day spa to relax before the wedding and Merle talks to Jay about the same thing. Just as Gloria did with Bob, Jay advises Merle to fix the relationship. After Merle and Jay meet with Gloria and Bob at the wedding, Bob and Merle have another argument and decide to end their marriage. Andy has to catch a flight to Utah to meet his girlfriend, but he is panicking because his taxi for the airport has not arrived and he needs someone to drive him. Gloria asks Haley to help and, despite saying that she does not want to do it, she agrees. On their way to the airport, Andy receives a text from the airline company that informs him that the flight is delayed for 3 hours. Having nothing to do, Andy and Haley go out for a coffee where Haley tells him that while reading the airline company text message, she also saw a text from his girlfriend telling him to not go to Utah because their relationship is over. Andy says that Beth always does that but she does not mean it, and that everything will be fine once he gets there. Part 2 It is Mitch and Cam's big day, but their wedding is interrupted by the firefighters who ask them to evacuate the area immediately because of an approaching wildfire. Pepper manages to convince the firefighters to give them half an hour so they can finish the wedding, but just as Mitch and Cam are about to get married, celebrant Sal's water breaks and she needs to get to the hospital, leaving Cam and Mitch with nobody to marry them. Phil volunteers to do it, but the firefighters return, demanding that everyone immediately evacuate because the wildfire's approach has accelerated. Pepper finds another wedding venue available, but the wedding is interrupted again by the couple who had originally booked the venue for the day. The wedding is moved once again, this time to Mitch and Cam's apartment, but the apartment gets too crowded and half the guests have to stand outside on the lawn. Remembering an earlier comment from Jay that all of these problems may be signs from God that they should not get married, Cam wonders if the entire mess is indeed a sign and that the wedding should not happen. Left with no other choice, Cam and Mitch decide to cancel the wedding. When Mitch starts making an announcement to the guests to inform them of the wedding's cancellation, he gets interrupted by Jay, who tells him that they cannot have their big wedding day in their apartment. Mitch expects this to be another indication that Jay has mixed feelings about the wedding, but instead Jay reveals that he has booked his country club as the perfect wedding venue and is proud that his son is marrying Cam. Jay and Gloria walk Mitch down the aisle, followed by Barb and Merle with Cam. As a voiceover during the ceremony, we hear Claire's best person speech at the reception, thanking the man who will protect and love her brother just as much as she does. Meanwhile, Jay and Gloria feel responsible for the impending dissolution of Merle and Barb's marriage and are determined to fix it. While traveling between wedding venues on a school bus, Jay talks to Barb about Merle and discovers that Barb found a flask of liquor in his coat, and is now drunk. Gloria talks to Merle about Barb as well, telling him a story about how lonely he will feel if he ends the marriage with his beloved. Later, Merle and Barb have another argument, but when they walk their son down the aisle, they both seemed happy once more. Alex observes that Haley's actions show that she has a crush on Andy, but Haley refuses to admit it. However, when they arrive at the venue that is close to the cafe where Andy is waiting for his flight, Haley goes to find him and to talk to him about his girlfriend. She tells him that he is able to get a better girlfriend than Beth, who does not deserve him, using examples of her own previous treatment of boys to show him how Beth is not treating him well. Haley quickly leaves as she gets a call from her mother, but she later receives a call from Andy, who asks if she was referring to someone in particular earlier. Haley refuses to admit that by someone better she meant herself, so Andy, who took a cab and came to the wedding to find her, does not say he is there, and he leaves. Luke and Manny wonder if it is difficult to officiate a marriage, so they ask Phil, who says that it's not, and he demonstrates what he is required to say. While doing so, Luke and Manny inadvertently appear to be a bridal couple, saying the I do parts and unknowingly making it look like a real wedding, something that Alex records on her phone. Throughout the rest of the day, Luke and Manny constantly argue, which Alex finds amusing since they appear to be acting like a married couple. This continues until after Cam and Mitch have left for their honeymoon. Ratings: in its original American broadcast, the wedding was watched by 9.08 million. Up by 0.53 from the previous episode. The wedding was watched by 10.45 million. Up by 1.37 from the previous episode. The episode was the show's most viewed episode finale out of all 5 seasons. Critical reception. Part 1 The wedding received mixed reviews. Joshua Alston of the AV Club gave the episode a B rating, stating that the episode is a pretty good one, albeit one that hangs a lot of funny lines on a flimsy frame. He further went on to say, "But this is part 1, a fact the title calls attention to, so EUR unregistered trademark as necessary to grant the episode a generous amount of leeway. Especially because it's as dense with jokes as it is with story, and I laughed consistently, even as I questioned whether this will build to a satisfying conclusion." Michelle Colbert of TV Fanatic rated the episode with 4.9/5, saying this one it going to go down in the history of TV weddings as one of the most unlucky ever, and also laid praise on Cam and Mitchell's storyline. Jordan Adler of We Got This Covered gave the episode a positive review. He stated, "Alas, this is only the first half of what could be a sterling season finale next week, so it is hard to give this episode a full grade. Some solid subplots and winning one-liners helped make the time fly, even though the pacing was cluttered, as usual for Modern Family. As a regular episode, it was strong. As the first half of a pivotal special episode, it left you wanting more." Jeremy Peoples of Rand Lifestyle gave the episode a mixed review, saying, "As the first part of a 2-part story, this was fine, but things were a bit predictable since you knew with it being a 2-parter, the wedding would EUR unregistered trademark T happen here." Peoples also criticized the gift storyline and described it as a sea-level story, but admitted the scene where Alex sticks up for Phil was touching. Victoria Lee Miller of Yahoo TV gave the episode a mixed review, criticizing the fact Shelley Long's character did not appear at all, and said that the absence of the character left more time for silly side storylines like Phil's faux blindness after an eye doctor appointment. Seriously, who gets their eyes dilated on the morning of a major family wedding? And Lily's impromptu merry-go-round ride on a dry cleaning conveyor. Part 2 The Wedding Part 2 received mixed reviews. Joshua Alston from the AV Club gave the episode a B rating, praising the emotions that the writers brought in the episode. The episode does a fine job with the emotional beats of Mitch and Karma unregistered trademark S wedding, finally dealing substantively with the rift between Jay and Mitch and giving Jay an opportunity to redeem himself. Lee Raines from TV Fanatic rated the episode with 4/5 saying, "The best part though was when Jay told Mitchell they should take a little walk down the aisle. You're damn right, I teared up when Jay and Gloria walked Mitchell down the aisle and Merle and Barb walked Cam down. That's the way it always should have been." Jordan Adler of We Got This Covered gave the episode a negative review, saying the main issue with this season finale was despite the double episode length, it all felt cluttered and haphazard. The three writers who penned this episode tried so hard to give all of the characters something to do that the large emotional pull felt crushed under the weight of satisfying a bunch of storylines. Adler also criticized how many storylines were in the episode, saying this episode is a lot of half scenes, moments that feel trimmed so that every character can have a little story of his or her own. For his performance in the episode, Nathan Lane was nominated for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Comedy Series. References: Bibel, Sarah. Wednesday Final Ratings: Revolution, Arrow, Survivor, Suburgatory, Modern Family and Law & Order, SVU adjusted up. Chicago PD adjusted down. TV by the Numbers. Retrieved May 15, 2014. Condology, Amanda. Wednesday Final Ratings: Survivor, The Middle and Modern Family adjusted up. Survivor Reunion adjusted down. TV by the Numbers. Retrieved July 23, 2014. Alston, Joshua. Modern Family, The Wedding. Retrieved May 15, 2014. Colbert, Michelle. Modern Family Review, Too Many Bumps. Retrieved May 15, 2014. Adler, Jordan. Modern Family Season Finale Review, The Wedding. Retrieved May 15, 2014. Peoples, Jeremy. Modern Family Review The Wedding Part 1 inch. Rand Media Network. Retrieved May 16, 2014. Miller, Victoria Lee. Modern Family's The Wedding Finale, Where Was Shelley Long's Dirt to Pritchett? Retrieved May 16, 2014. Alston, Joshua. Modern Family The Wedding. The AV Club. Retrieved July 23, 2014. Raines, Lee. Modern Family Review, To the Shuttles. TV Fanatic. Retrieved July 23, 2014. Adler, Jordan. Modern Family Season Finale Review, The Wedding. We Got This Covered. Retrieved May 22, 2014.